Today we're going to be working on planing down the boards that we got from the old house that we took the beadboard and the poplar boards from. It was built in like 1876 and it's here in our town, but they were going to tear it down. So we bought some material from it and we've been repurposing it and putting it in our house. So the same beadboard that we used in the laundry room and then the same flooring that we used in the laundry room, it's also being used in the kitchen. We used way more flooring than we thought we would in the laundry room. And we're hoping that we have enough. We have some left over, so we're going to go outside and see what we have and plane the rest of it down. And then we went back over there a couple months back and got all of the rest of the poplar boards that we could off of that house. So we have to rip those down because they're super, super wide boards. And we would just lay them as is, but it wouldn't match. And we're not rolling it out yet, but we don't know how we would lay it and make it match, if that makes sense. If you guys remember, these are the boards that we got out of that house, and these are also some. We went back and got more, and this is what we got. The ones that we previously had, we'd already planed and ripped. Here's my hand, and that's how big the board is. Like, it is so wide. So I would say they're at least like 18 inches, but they will not fit in our planer. So yesterday was Friday and my parents actually ended up coming over and one of my brothers did. And I did not vlog very much. I tried sneaking in clips when and where I could. We were just all working so fast trying to get as much as we could done because we were really trying to take advantage of the help we had and just get as much as we could done. If I have any footage, I'm not sure if I do, but if I have footage, I'll insert it. Me and my mom, we finished planing because we worked on it earlier in the week and didn't even get finished. So me and my mom worked on planing the boards for the kitchen floor and finished that. And then my dad, my brother, and Ben, they all worked on ripping the boards down to the correct size. So it would have taken us like several days to finish planing and ripping the boards, but we were able to get it all done yesterday. And we ended up getting some of the boards packed in. We're probably about 3/4 of the way done on the kitchen floor. But if the footage is like really choppy and you kind of don't know what's going on, it's because I just tried getting clips where I could. But it was one of those days where you just cannot stop to video. So hopefully you guys can understand. But last night while we were laying the flooring, my dad asked me if I was going to polyurethane the floors, and I originally said no. I was like, no, well, like I don't want to. And he asked me why, so I was telling him about our old house, and then he remembered seeing them like that because I complained about them all the time. And I'm not sure what they did, but he said that they just did a bad job, and if I did a good job, mine wouldn't look like that. So I'm thinking about doing polyurethane. But at our old house, there was like long pieces of women's hair, like the long hairs. It was underneath the polyurethane. And then also, I'm not sure if I did it, so that's where I need your guys' help, because I don't know if I just like cleaned my floors wrong or something at the old house and caused it to happen. but in huge pieces, like the sheets of the polyurethane would just like peel off in like big, huge sections. So I need to know if you guys have hardwood floors that are sealed with polyurethane, not polyacrylic. There's a big difference. I would do polyurethane just because it holds up like longer and it's more durable than polyacrylic is. So if you guys have polyurethane sealed floors, let me know in the comments, like how many coats did you put on your floor, and also what do you use to clean your floors. Usually I just use like a regular like bucket and mop, or sometimes I'll use the Bissell Crosswave that like sweeps and mops at the same time. But what kind of products do you use? Because we live on a farm, so mud and sometimes cow poop gets tracked in. So I need a way to disinfect the floors. So is it safe to use bleach on it? Like how do I go about it? So let me know in the comments what you use, like what kind of cleaners you use on your hardwood floors that are sealed with polyurethane, because I don't want to ruin them. So I'm trying to like pick something that I can clean and don't have to worry. Here's the kitchen, the flooring that we got laid last night. Those boards that go over top of this, but we had to move them because we didn't cut out for the vent yet. So they do go perfectly right there. I'd say we're about 3/4 of the way, 2/3 done. I'm not really sure. These are boards that we need to like try and fit, and then we have some out in the barn that we're gonna go. We're hoping we have enough. Last night we started running out. That's all that we got finished yesterday, but we still have some in the barn. So we're gonna go see what we have and see if we can make this work, because if we have to use like smaller pieces over here, like not as long, then that'll be fine because it'll be hidden by like the stove and everything like that. Stuff will sit on it. So we think it'll be fine. And then right here, we'll just come out to here and do a transition piece over into the dining room. And we'll do the same over there in front of that door. But hopefully you guys can tell. I don't know if you can. We ended up using the 3s and 5s that we had left over from the laundry room. And then the really wide boards. I think I showed them in this video, that we were planing them down and we had to rip them. We of course ripped out the bad, but we decided to leave the big and just incorporate some really big boards. So I think this one's an 8-inch board all the way across, and that one's a 5, and then that's a 3 of course. But it was good that we didn't have near as much waste, and we did incorporate some of the big original boards after we just ripped out the bad. Right now it is all just laid out. We haven't nailed any of it down yet, just in case I wanted to like move any pieces or anything like that. And we're just trying to make sure that we have enough. But once we get it all laid out, and if I don't want to change any rows, because we've made it to where like the row all the way down can just be swapped over there and pushed over and like put in a spot, if that makes sense. That way I can like really customize it and see what looks good and what doesn't. So we just now finished laying all of the flooring. It is not laid, like it's not secured down. We still have to do the liquid nails and then nail it. We're gonna do liquid nails and then also nail it, just because one of you guys actually recommended it, said that if we did that then it wouldn't like creak or anything like that. So we're gonna do the liquid nails and then also nail it with the nail gun. Some of them we're gonna have to pre-drill the nail holes and then nail it by hand just so it doesn't split the board, just because this lumber is so old. Like, it came out of an 1876 house, so it is over 100 years old. It is super old and it's dry, very, very dry and hard. So that's why it like looks a little wonky and like wavy. It's just because it's not nailed down right now. And then this is pulled up, like all these boards just slide down and they go over top of that vent, but we have them pulled back just so that heat can come out for now. And then over here, right in front of the door, we did not lay the piece right there yet. We have that piece set aside and some others, but we're gonna wait until we put the new back door in, and that way the transition piece will be flush. So we're gonna have to raise up the door a little bit just because we did raise the overall height of the floor. So that crack will no longer be there and it'll be like a transition piece. And then right here in this doorway, we also kept a piece for the transition. Right there it is. But we're gonna have to wait until we pull all this tight, because if we were to do it now, the boards aren't pulled tight. They're just like lightly laid down. So we'll have to wait and cut that very last. And then the same goes for like in between the brick and right there. We're so thankful that we ended up having enough. And we tried to do it because this wood right here will be covered with like cabinetry into the stove. So what we ended up having to do is use a wide board right here and then match it with 3 because it's a 9-inch board, and then we did three 3-inch boards. So once they're tight and everything, they'll all match. But we just had to do that because we were running out of boards. And there's nowhere that we can get this flooring. I'm sure we could go to like a specialty place, like maybe an antique store, but it is outrageous to try and buy replacement flooring. We literally had just enough to get this done, and we'll have just enough to go in here and finish it out and make it look nice. But that's all we're gonna go do today. Our backs are killing us from having to bend over and plane and rip so much and lay this out. And I tried to get what footage I could. It's hard because the floor moves when you walk on it, so the camera like shakes really bad. So if there isn't much footage, that's why, is because the camera shakes so bad whenever it's on the tripod. We'll probably nail this down Monday evening, and then I would like to seal the floors on Tuesday, and then we won't be able to be on the floors for about a week. So we're just trying to plan everything out and make sure that we have time. But that's going to be it for today's vlog. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys will like and subscribe.